So at the last PIA symposium in Dallas, Texas, UPT did release a new type of harness which they call the Mutant harness. I've had the chance to take a look at it, get some info for you guys, but also I did record a full interview with one member of the development team, Bobo, who's also a Flight 1 instructor. So you'll get access right now.
And then you guys shoot him questions so we can get it started.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah!
This is awkward with the siren. I'm just going to say it. It's awkward with the siren in my face. Yeah, I'm super proud to be a part of this project. Certainly got to tip hats to the inventors, Vince and Vince Raffet and Blicky, who've been pushing this project for about 10 years now to get to this point. So I think it was about 5 years ago, Vince had been talking about it for many years. Hey, you guys need to get under this thing. It's a game changer with canopy piloting and the speeds, the performance. You guys just need to do it. And luckily, UPT and Sunpath were very open to the idea of allowing us to start to test it and vet it out in the competition canopy piloting world. And so that's how I got involved with it. And was fortunate enough to start putting it into competition about 2 to 3 years ago, entering some mainly speed competitions at first and kind of figuring it out. And the performance data that we were getting using FlySight and things of that nature were definitively better. And once I was able to figure it out and kind of get it going through the course, which was some learning involved there, even with my many years of experience, it definitely became something that I was super engaged in. It basically kept me flying in the competition side of things for many years, the last 2 to 3 years, and I believe it's going to be the next chapter in canopy piloting development. Basically, it mirrors the paragliding position. So the speed flying and paragliding harnesses that are in that orientation are very harness sensitive and very much less using the controls. So it's a much more active body piloting position. So you're using your body much more. Matt's going to be our test dummy here. Nice job, Matt. But for skydivers, it's a new orientation. We're used to hanging from our shoulders. It's kind of funny because you talked to Vince a little bit about it, the history, and all the paragliders kind of almost, when they are very experienced paragliders go to learn to skydive, which is the market for this device is actually going to really appeal to a lot of paragliders who want to skydive. Their initial feelings when they are under their first skydiving harnesses are, and I can't really do a good justice of Vince's accent, but he basically is like, you feel like you're a sack of potatoes. You know, you're hanging like a sack of potatoes, and that's effectively what we're doing. So this orientation, you're much more able to use your body to pilot, and the harness turns are very sensitive, and it takes basically any wing and just puts it on steroids because of that. The question is, how does the system work effectively? Matt's doing a great job being a model here. So he's showing you that there's actually 2 sets of 3 rings. There's a set of 3 rings at the shoulder, your normal attachment point. With this floating ring, it's connected kind of like a French reverse style 3 ring. And then it's connected here lower on the hip harness. So the white ball, first of all, I'll back up. The initial deployment system, go back and forward if you want, Matt. You don't have to hook it up completely, but you deploy in a normal orientation. And the beauty behind this design is that you are deploying in a normal, for a skydiver, that's what we want. And for malfunctions, it's what we want as well. For malfunctions, you want to be connected at the shoulders. Down here would be really ugly. So this effectively 2 sets of 3 rings connected through one handle is the meat and potatoes of the design. And that is what allows it to be so simple to deal with the malfunction. It's basically your same emergency cutaway procedure. You have one handle to rule them all, so to speak, right? And then, if you don't have a malfunction, the white ball only releases the top two. So your normal post-deployment procedure is open up, take care of all your stuff, release the white ball that releases the top rings, and then what you don't see here is the belly band. So the belly band keeps you kind of contained in the system. It's essentially a pulley lateral, so the lateral, as soon as we release the red button, that allows you to slide back and get the rig back into seated position. It opens up the harnesses effectively. So it's a two-step process to get into the flight mode. Release the white ball, push the magic red button, which I call, and then you slide back. What's great about this system though too, just like a paragliding system, is you're not locked into this position at any point. If any point you want to come forward, you just, if the rig's tuned up properly, and that's an adjustment that we make to fit it properly to the right different body sizes, that kind of thing. You want to have the ability to shift forward and backward, not only for flying purposes, but also to land. Yeah. No, it's a standard UPT vector reserve pack jump. The container is effectively just on this harness. Yeah, there's no change. And so you get all the benefits of the free fall containment features and the slickness of it. It's all the same. You jump this thing in free fall, no issues. In fact, that's all that Vince does now. He doesn't even jump normal rigs anymore. He just jumps the Mutant. No, there is no RSL. That is a good question. That's by design. The other thing that is also kind of less obvious is that in order to jump this system, a removable slider is necessary. Fortunately for UPT and I think for us, there's a vetting process that's been put in place that involves Flight 1 and a network of ambassadors that have been flying the system. Vince and UPT have been very responsible about the idea this is such a new product that education is a requirement for the purchase of the product. So there's an application process. Those applications are then vetted through the ambassadors, which involve existing Flight 1 instructors, myself, Vince Raffet. Vince is not a Flight 1 instructor, but he's the inventor. Pete Alum in Europe, and then Pablo Hernandez in Spain, and in Dubai. But that process, once they're approved, then they build the rig, and then the rig actually goes to the ambassador, and then the purchaser has to go through the training, go through the setup, go through the customization that's necessary to make it safe. So there's a lot of stuff about the fitting that's important. And then the training that we've created, a training program for Flight 1 to introduce the product to people, and all the stuff we've learned about teaching people how to fly canopies apply to this system. Yeah, so the question was, for more conventional wings, does it have a benefit, right? And the answer is, it makes any wing fly better. And so I don't think it's really been proven in the market quite yet as far as where that line is, I guess you could say. But for we already know that Jared, for people with disabilities, it has some great benefit, obviously, to get him in the air. It's a more comfortable landing orientation for him. So we've got that option for people jumping, all types of wings. He's a paraplegic scenario, so you know what I'm referring to. So landing, if people that don't have full function of their legs, it's a better orientation to land. So no matter what wing that person's landing on, it's going to be better. And so I don't know if there's a wing loading point or something like this that we've figured out to where it's more beneficial. I can just tell you that it radically changes the airspeed of any parachute, so you get more lift, more responsiveness, all that kind of stuff. I've been using it for distance the last, I didn't do it the first year, but the last 2 years I've been using it for distance, and I've had some of my personal best distances with this harness over my entire career. So I've gone a lot farther under this system than anything I've ever flown before. And the trick is water drag. It's challenging, and because of the orientation. So when I get it right, it goes really, really far. But you have to stay down also below the 50-meter gate, way down. So that creates some issues with the system. It's actually way more powerful right now than the current distance rules are allowing for. Like if you didn't have to stay under the 50-meter, lights out, downtown, every day, you know, really, really long distances. Yeah, it's a total technique change across the board from everything you've ever learned from canopy piloting. It's a totally different way of controlling the wing, mainly because you have another tool available, and by that I mean you actually have CG shift available. So to dive the wing, you come forward in the harness. You don't need front risers anymore. You just come forward and your CG shifts forward onto the nose. To create pitch going back, you pitch up, you just shift back. And you also have, so just extend your legs. You actually also have the yaw axis that you don't have normally. So you've got full axis of control now available, and totally different technique, but kind of fun.